Greetings, fellow mercenaries. Radamon here. Thank you for tuning in to Battle Brothers, Episode 9, Trainees. We're heading to Katzenberg. A familiar town. Nobles have never taken interest in us until now. We have provisions for the day, hoping to pick up a contract to pay for the way. Will anyone hire us as caravan guards? Unfortunately, this town sees greenskins marauding, a dangerous and titanous foe. The Blackheart's Den in the forest west of here. Who knows who lives there nowadays, they say. Harbart the Trademaster stares out a window, watching a group of men loading cargo into the wagon. He talks without looking your way. He wants to deliver something to Alan, exactly where we're interested in going, and would like to hire us as caravan guards. But first, let's ask what it pays. 520 when the job is done, and we accept the offer. The caravan stops to fix a wagon wheel. An axle snaps and slams the wagon onto its side. A crate clatters out onto the ground, a lid jarring open. You grab a hammer and go to nail it back shut when you notice that a number of gems have spilled out of the box. JT, the spearman, sees it too and puts a hand on his weapon. That's a particularly loud cargo, sir. Should we keep things quiet, or we have to make a decision? Get back to work before I beat you there. We have a contract to fulfill, or to steal the cargo for ourselves like common thieves, despite the fact that we were hired to guard it. We have to make the decision. It is decided to fulfill this contract, and not fail Alan, a familiar town to us. A figure appears on the horizon, blurred and shimmering in a heat haze. It appears to have paused, no doubt having seen you too. With a little fear, you press the men onward and soon come across a man toting a few bags of this or that. He's sitting down on the ground and doesn't bother getting up when you near. He explains he's on the road for days and could use a good night's rest. Naturally, he asks if he could spend that rest in the company of your men. Join us at the campfire tonight. You sit about a fire. Much talk is made about this or that, but the traveler does not speak such words, some words, which reside within your mind long after he's gone. 10 years ago, I fought in the battle of many names. Orc against man. The end of the war that struck its name across an entire age. I rode with the cavalry, if you want to know. Southern flank in the mud and swamp, and I neither are well fit for horse riding, but our commander was having none of that. An orc drove a polearm through the commander's horse, and on through the commander himself. Taking horses into the muck, a terrible idea. I've heard northern flank fared better, but it's no matter. Neither side won that damned fight. May you find peace on the roads, traveler. A fresh, cool breeze is blowing today, and you feel it's a good time for the Battle Brothers to start something new. You call the men to gather around. What do you tell them? Walking dead are a terrible curse upon man. Let's burn some of their lairs to the ground and earn the respect of all decent folk. Or, besting orcs in battle and burning down some of their camps would make people recognize the company's ability on the battlefield. Let's do so. We can barely carry any equipment or spoils of war. Let's save up 7,500 crowns to buy a cart and relieve our backs. Or, the company is doing great. We need to keep it up with no ambition. The company contemplates their options. But it seems that buying a cart to relieve our backs is the most populous one. That's a tidy sum of crowns, far more than we've ever acquired. Hopefully the noblemen of the Northeast will offer us advantageous contracts. Brigands harry us from behind. We are prepared for combat. Immediately, Otto lets loose his falcon, revealing the enemies, and then situating himself upon the nearest hill, readying his spears for what may come. The caravan guards are notoriously ineffective fighters, fleeing and floundering around their caravan. We're hired to protect them. We know this, and we're ready. Fighting in the dark is difficult for our ranged fighters. Their bolts whiz by the enemies ineffectively. Off with his head, Mojo says, slicing the lightly armored brigand to his doom. Forming a phalanx shield wall up front will allow us to protect the high ground that JT holds. The new guy, Calais, is ready to go. He wants to prove himself as a crossbowman. And Flash, ready to back up his compatriots, takes up behind the phalanx. Papa G's resolve is tested. He becomes surrounded. Now Alfred the Scorpion, toe-to-toe with a man with a pick. Don't worry, he thinks to himself. Backup is coming. It always does. Flash very easily slays that intruder. Papa G raises up his shield and slams his flail into the head of the raider just to his north. Mr. Mojo, having swapped positions with the pikeman, is ready to dispatch the brigand thug at his feet. In one swoop, Brigand is gone. The poachers are becoming annoying. Their arrows narrowly missing us. It might be time to set out and shut them down. Otto sprints past Sleb, ready to ambush the poachers from behind, while Alfred takes up a high position in order to make him an easier target for the enemies, but the enemy is an easier target for him alike. The poachers know the flank is unsecure, and they start to flee to the south. Alfred's height advantage pays off, and in one quick arrow kills one of the remaining poachers. The rallying horn is called, and Papa G's resolve returns to him, while Mojo slays one of the remaining at the foot of the hill. The remaining are cornered, outnumbered, their time numbered. They're surrounded and all are fleeing. It's time to put an end to these raiders. The last one tries to retreat, but he's utterly surrounded and completely hopeless. Through the Dawnland and the Middle Mart, the caravan remains intact, the members of it unscathed, and Alan is now well supplied. Alan looks to be recently raided, damaged, and in need of help. First, the marketplace. A lot of the weapons that we have are in ill repair and should be repaired before sold. Back in Ellen, our mercenary company, looking to earn up to 7,500 coin to pay for the wagon, looks for easier contracts to fulfill so that the new recruits don't die needlessly. A man strums a string instrument as you walk by. He slashes an ear-piercing chord and you turn to find him laughing. I thought that might fetch your attention. Raban of Allen said to keep a lookout for a man of your vocation. If you're looking for work, he's the man to go to. You ask if this figurehead pays well. The man nods. Yep. And he gave me this here loot as payment once, and now I'm just waiting for the old devils to come down and challenge me to a tune. Raban of Aelen said, if you best won in the game of songs, then they give you a golden lute. Now that's what I call good payment. Wouldn't you agree? Raban got to his feet on his table when you enter. He puts his hands behind his head, looking a little too relaxed for your tastes. Good tidings, Captain. What say you take leave from all that is killing and dying? He raises an eyebrow at your response, which is precisely none at all. I figured you'd jump at the opportunity. No matter. It was a lie. I need you to take a certain package to Wilright the Elder, a fellow residing in Eisenstein. This cargo is undoubtedly garnered some ill-intentioned eyes, which is why I need your men watching it for me. If you're interested, which you should be, let's talk numbers. 250 crowns, a paltry sum, but we accept. Instead of taking the road well traversed, we'll cut through the countryside. Eisenstein in our sights, and without having to pull the blades from our sheaths, the delivery is completed. The elder is waiting for us as we enter town. He hurriedly takes the cargo off our hands. Oh, I did not think you would get here. His grubby fingers dance along the chest carrying the cargo. He turns around and barks an order to one of his men. They hand me a satchel full of the crowns. Sigbold of Einstein takes a seat in a chair big enough to be comfortable for two. Brigands have been harrying us for weeks. They even tried to set fire to a pub. We've heard a story like this already. He wants us to kill every last brigand hiding in their camp, and will pay us 410 crowns for the contract to be done. A moldy shelter deep into the Minsaker, labeled on our map, and we set out, hoping to hit them before dusk. Assessing the troops. The spirits are high, the gear intact, and wounds have been tended to. We are indeed ready for this fight. If at all possible, we might be able to maximize our profit, separating raiders from their gear. Using the natural landscape to separate out the two groups. Papa G takes position behind a tree. And the men advance slowly with shield walls in hand. The first raider immediately dead, despite the fact that he had shield, armor, and mace. No match for a deadly long axe. Throwing javelins and axes and hatchets seems to be a desperate measure that these bandits take. They're squaring up, but they're not closing in. We'll have to advance. Our men quickly surround the remaining bandits, dispatching all in their way. Their flank exposed to be exploited. Deep, deliberate cuts by Flash and by Val sees the top brigand raider flailing, breaking, and gravely wounded. Our macemen look to themselves, one another, in agreement that one of the remaining be toyed with, trifled with, for gear. That, they think, is the best course of action. He'll be surrounded and whittled down into nothing. The flails meet their target, their heads bashed. This brigand raider has nowhere to go, nowhere to hide, no hope, save for lucky strikes. The pikemen position themselves ready to swap in and aid those, if any, become hurt. This last man here, an easy, ripe target for daggers. A last-ditch effort. Ineffective. Head separated from shoulders. He's relieved of his armor. The contract is fulfilled. Simple, straightforward, and will pay plenty of crowns. Additionally, some of the gear obtained is better than our own. We'll see it repaired. The back line also might be given bundles of throwing axes, for these are still effective against the undead, but use range skill. Additionally, Val the Mentalist will be given javelins, for he is not only able to use a pike with high level of skill, but maybe he'll be a good javelin as well. Passing through the Minsaker and returning to Eisenstein, the men victorious and ready for another keg of beer. This town has no more contract. We'll head to Mitersfell, one of our first allianced towns. The ruins around us are growing plenty, dire wolves nipping at the heels. We can hunt these for free, the men think. Even in dusk, dire wolves, just but two, have little hope of success. The direwolves are fast and evasive, getting away from our men. They're thinking to themselves, maybe Katzenberg is a better target. Mitersfell will have to wait. We finally caught up to the direwolves. And happy to skin them for their hides, the fight ensues. Otto forgets to change his weapon from the last battle and is stuck with a dagger. A moniker of Ducky, it's laughable. The men cheer and jeer as he ineffectively stabs at the last werewolf, who's already set to flee. Ducky, deciding that he shouldn't part with his spear anymore, decides to take up spear mastery. Raising his resolve and hopefully his memory to wield the correct weapon. Zaleb, looking to take the job of tank, sees fit to specialize as a colossus, ready to absorb what may come. And our newest recruit, although frail, has shown some promise. Both of them have. On our way down to Katzenberg, hopefully we'll catch a job. Our crowns swell, but not nearly enough to afford that cart that we've set our hearts upon. And only dangerous royal quarry are being offered here. Let's try Mitersfell. It hasn't failed us yet. Through the Middlemark Road and up towards Einsenstein, often frequented by bandits of many. Today, the path seems oddly serene. Trade caravans and peasants, and a military company set on patrol. The men mull over the idea of taking a nobility contract, but instead inquires with Herbert of Myrtefels. He offers a contract to kill brigands, but what are they willing to pay? 1,300? I don't think we're going to be able to accomplish this. Let's seek something easier for the new recruits to cut their teeth on. To Ullenkrug, and to easier contracts we go. We're running very low on supplies. We'll have to resupply, and hopefully this timber village will have cheap food and maybe some beer. The food is cheap, but the beer does not flow. We forget that this is a town without a tavern. Erhard, the merchant, got his feet up on the table when we enter. He puts his hands behind his head, looking a little too relaxed. Good tidings, he says. He wants us to take a certain package to Rambert the Wise, residing in Rothenbach, a town we seldom frequent. He tells us a lot of ill-intentioned eyes will want to take it off of us, and is willing to pay 540 crowns for the contract to be done. We agree. Instead of heading straight there, we'll go to Cobmanhaven first. There was rumors of plunder in this area. a round of beer for the men, and seeking a little extra food for the trip. The men gawk at the overpriced tools and supplies. Looks like Cobmanhaven is also having a green skin problem. Bit above our pay grade, the men agree. You watch as the men chow down on plates about as colorful as the men's personalities. Supplying the company with such diverse stock of food has raised their spirits as good as any victory. They're ready for a fight. A necromancer lair has been noted in the Green Mirror. Through the misty barrows, a large group, a plethora of ghouls pursue us, as well as a marauder's den. Perhaps, engaging both groups is advantageous. Oh, it's a shame. It's just the ghouls. Defend, men, for ghouls harry our... Some dangerous and feasted ones linger in the back, whereas the front is full of the weak and the weary. Long-distant bolts see their targets slain. Fast and effective. A tight bottleneck will be formed amongst the trees to make it easier for the men to dispatch. We're ready, they think. Ready for what may come. It's time to spring our trap, to execute the meat grinder. Ghouls, slain left and right, their numbers thinning. Shields up and at the ready. Can't let your guard down out in these woods. Some of the feasted move forward, fill the ranks. A falcon released reveals the remaining battlefield. Large, beastly, ghastly, they feast and grow more frightening by the minute. Focusing on the most feasted will be important. The men stab and smite as fast as they can, hoping that their flanks are covered. A brilliant shot, Tankwith rings out and forces one of the ghouls to flee. The largest of them felled by Callie's bolt. Their numbers dwindle. The southern flank will be exposed soon, knowing that those ghouls that set south will be upon us any moment. The men reposition and ready themselves for the ambush. Flash, the banner bearer, baits one of the ghouls into a point-blank fight, swapping with his compatriot. Alfred panically releases 2 bolts. Neither hit their target. We outnumber them 2-1. Flash exclaims, trying to encourage his friends to fight true. Their numbers dwindle. We have them surrounded, outnumbered. They are outmatched. Another massive and feasted ghoul reveals himself from the dark wood. This, probably the most dangerous opponent yet. The pikemen converge upon this target. cornering it, outnumbering it, and hoping to remove it. The fighters in the north quickly clean up what remains of the northern contingent, so that all attention may be paid to this large and massive behemoth of flesh and mud. The ghoul eats corpses and regains his health, buying time, hopefully, for its inevitable demise. It's wavering, gravely wounded, but still far too dangerous to ignore. Otto and the others push forward to shore up the flanks to make sure that none will be able to re-enter the battlefield after fleeing. Two remain. Now just the one. This battle, all but cinched for victory. Robert closes in on the last gravely wounded ghoul who has returned from fleeing. Not a chance this one will land a fatal blow. And it retreats. We run them down. No quarter. No quarter ever offered to a ghoul. Victorious, the men look upon growth pearls and teeth alike, proof that deed has been done. Thank you for watching Battle Brothers, which originally streamed live on Twitch, January 28th. If you'd like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhodamont.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my gaming community, Rhodamont.com also has a link to Discord, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching, and a special thank you to my Patreon patrons, Twitch subscribers, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. I hope to catch you in the next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow sellswords.